The Nigerian currency continued its free fall yesterday, hitting an all-time low on the black market. On Tuesday, the Naira exchanged for a shocking 1,825 Naira per dollar, marking a significant 6.3% drop compared to Monday's closing rate of 1,710 Naira. Adding to the woes, data revealed a dramatic decrease in both official and unofficial dollar transactions. Combined dollar sales facilitated by banks and individual trades plummeted by 26.59%, totaling only $66.43 million on Monday. This drop is a sharp decline from the already low $84.10 million reported on Friday. And joining me for more on this and other related stories is Head, Fixed Income and Forex, Chapel Hill Denham Securities, Oladipo Ajayi. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you very much for having me on.
But I'd like to say it would seem the windfall is over, because I remember earlier in the month, the Forex market recorded an impressive volume of $800 million in a single day. I mean, are the new measures waning already?
Well, of course, there's still an iota of lack of confidence that still remains in the market, because if you are seeing the rate at which Naira has been implementing, of course, everybody wants to stay back and see where will he land. Because imagine an investor that actually invested, maybe came in early in the month when rate was around 1,300, 1,200 levels. And now looking back, found out that the rate is around 8,800 in the parallel market and over 1,600 in the official market. So, of course, what we are doing is that you're already having a loss on your book, exchange loss on your book. So I think these are some of the reasons why most of this inflow that you have expected from foreign investors actually is falling. A lot of them want clarity. A lot of them want stability. They want us to get to a level where the level of volatility in the market would have actually waned out compared to where we are now. So I'm actually not surprised when we are seeing that big inflow of FX into the markets, because I feel that the market is still very much volatile, and a lot of them will actually know what to jump in now.
But what necessitated that particular inflow, and can't that same factor be, reignited so we can have it again? I mean, all of the things you talked about, the sentiments that investors have or had, those sentiments were there even before we made this impressive number.
Yeah, because one thing you have to also look at, the sentiments have worsened since that time to now. Because if you look at the rate at which Naira actually depreciates on a daily basis, it calls for concern, and a lot of people are perturbed with the rate at which the currency is losing value on a daily basis. So I think it's beyond what it was when they were coming in. And aside that also, we also note that that particular point in time, the central bank actually issued treasury bills, and this actually attracted most of those foreign guys into the market. Of course, they actually issued at an attractive rate of 19%, effective yield of over 23%. And these actually attracted most of them to the market. But one thing is that the yield we are attracting to the market, but if you're not very careful, everything you have earned on the return side, you will lose on the exchange loss side. And that's why most of them are being very careful as to pick down to actually jump into the market. But just like what you said, I think the mandate to actually wait it to actually find a way to actually change the current sentiment in the market around the moment. They're able to actually come in and stand their ground and actually propound positive forward goal that can actually restrain a bit of confidence in the market, that can actually give most of these foreign guys confidence to actually come into the markets.
Speaking of confidence, really, are you confident in the way the CBN is handling Nigeria's Forex challenges? Because we're seeing the resultant effects on prices of goods and services. Talk about the pass-through effects on inflation and some other things, really. Nigerians are not happy, and we are seeing, protests and all of that, springing up in various, across the country, basically.
Well, I'm sure everybody's feeling it all together, so it will be insensitive somewhat say that everything is rosy. But however, what we're currently seeing more like a foundation and structural issue, and what the current CBN government is trying to do is that to put those structures in place, to put those process in place so as to forestall future happening of or recurrence of what is currently happening now. I feel that the CBN is getting there, but just that the only thing that is still outstanding is liquidity. So we need liquidity in the market because no matter how much more policy you actually propound to the market or you push into the market, if those things does not actually attract immediate liquidity or immediate inflow of FX into your market, of course, it will be to naught because market will not budge until the market sees liquidity. So and that's currently what's currently happening now. Most of the demands we are currently seeing, and they are becoming more like a panic demand. Maybe people that have obligations in December and they're already seeing where the currency is trading now. They were like, most of them were like, oh, how am I sure the currency will still not worsening by December or maybe twice the level? So a lot of them are actually jumping into the market to actually hedge themselves against future obligations. And when you find yourself in this kind of situation, of course, what will happen is exactly what's happening in the market because we keep seeing.
Let me come in here. Okay, I would like us to wrap up with this particular one because there are other headlines we're looking at. So some persons have said some of these measures taken by the CBN are probably administration and less administrationary, and some are saying it's short-term, it's knee-jerk, and all of that. So looking at all of this, can we talk about long-term measures, measures that will ensure long-term solutions at the end of the day? Do we just need this administrative? Yeah, that's the word. Administrative measures or something structural that will actually ensure that we see a change at the end of the day, not just some knee-jerk or short-term measures?
So on the part of the central bank, you understand, they don't have as much weapon to actually deploy in such a time like this. And that's one of the reasons why most of what we've been seeing are more like administrative, like you mentioned. But for me, there are also processes and structures that need to be in place for us to have a credible FX system. But just what is not currently happening is the inflow of FX into the market. And this has to be done in collaboration with the fiscal policy guys. And Nigeria needs to go on road show. You need to actually reassure foreign investors about the market. You have to pitch your market to investors and for them to actually come into the market. Because no matter the number of policies you propound, if you don't have liquidity to actually defend the currency, of course, it will be a very difficult one. And that's why we found ourselves where we are now. So we need liquidity. And I'm sure immediately we start seeing liquidity in the market, we'll see more like a rebound from where we are currently trading now.
Also, away from that, let's look at Nigeria's Debt Management Office, which could only raise around half of its intended sale of 2.5 trillion naira in 7 and 10-year bonds recently. That was on Monday. And it was only able to sell 1.49 trillion naira worth of bonds, and that's about 60% of the amount offered. What does this say about investors' appetite and sentiment, if you may?
For me, I would say that actually, I never believed that they would be able to raise 60%. Because 2.5 trillion is not a child's play. And ab initio, I was thinking that for them to actually push such a volume on the calendar, it simply means that there would have been an off-taker. Because I don't think they will have such confidence to actually offer 2.5 trillion. And I was surprised that it doesn't seem like there's any off-taker anywhere. But yet they were able to actually muzzle out close to 1.5 trillion. In the market. I'll tell you, 2.5 trillion used to be like an annual borrowing in this market. And this is just what we actually floated in just one auction window. And the fact that they are still able to actually raise about 1.6 trillion and about 1.5 trillion, and couple the fact that they were still able to actually raise at that attractive yield level, I think it's a very good one for that. But my key concern is that I also need to understand why the desperation at such a time like this. I also need to understand that all is in tandem with the policy of the direction of the monetary policy guys, because I'm actually surprised when I saw 2.5 trillion on a bond calendar, because I know that that's the toll that. But a lot of people in the market are even thinking that maybe it's a way to actually get foreign investors to come to the market. But to speak, I doubt there's anything like that, because we've not felt the effect on the FX side of the market. So it simply means that most of these bids that we saw, they are more like domestic bids and not foreign investors' participation in the market. But however, I think they did very great in that auction.
All right, so finally, let's close with the federal government's plan to raise about $10 billion in revenue to boost liquidity in the foreign exchange market. Too ambitious, very achievable? I mean, in 30 seconds.
I think it's actually very ambitious. We've had this before. They told us something like this October last year, and but as we speak, we have only been able to get about just over $2 billion from Afrexim, and other cash flows have not been in the market, have not come into the market. And if you remember vividly, the last time we had this, we saw Naira appreciated from around 1,300 back to 1,000 Naira when this was announced to the market. But one thing is that when you announce things like this and it's not back with action, when you announce things like this and it's not back with result, of course, you tend to see market revert back to where it used to be, and that's exactly what's happening. So I think that the government needs to actually come clear about, you don't just mention huge money just to actually make it sound as if that there's a lot of hope out there. But it's better for you to come out clear and say, oh, this is what we're, even if it's just 2 billion, make it clear it's 2 billion. But what really matters is how are you going to deploy the money is what matters, and that will actually create a bit of stability in the market.
All right, thank you so much, Oladipo Ajayi, for joining us on the show and also sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Welcome.